Hi, welcome to Bobbing Along with Bob, who can be found at bobdub on minds.com. Join me for discussions with interesting and informative guests who share their knowledge, insight, and opinion with us all. These talks are aimed at mature people who don't object to strong opinions or language, because both may be expressed. I take full responsibility for my own opinions, and no platform or sponsor is responsible for anything contained in this podcast. Please note that nothing contained in this show should be considered to be medical, financial, or psychiatric advice. We are just people sharing our lived experiences. Hey guys, welcome back. This is Bobbing Along, episode 31, and today I am very, very privileged to be talking with MindsGaming from Minds.com. Hey MindsGaming, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's pretty good here today. It's not raining for once.
Oh my God, it was 80 degrees where I am today. It was so hot. Like the weather's just been going back and forth from like 30 to 90. It's been ridiculous. Anyways, yeah.
So you're getting on towards summer now, aren't you?
Yeah. It's springtime.
Uh-huh.
You know.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice. You're on the east coast of America.
yeah. By the water. I like gotta have some water so you
Yeah.
can go venture out.
Yeah. We are completely surrounded by water. There is an abundance of water here, which is wonderful for
Oh,
the climate
nice.
because it's nice and, moderate, and everybody's got a boat, a ship, a yacht of some sort. They're just everywhere. But the hurricane that we had last month, the month before, wow, that was something else. So yeah, it's double-edged sword.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah. Hurricanes are the worst. We had well, we haven't had one in a while, but we had one when in high school. I just
Hmm.
graduated high school, and we had a hurricane. And I actually had a little 16-foot sailboat at the
All right.
time that was um like I took out, and it just got completely destroyed.
Oh man, really? Oh,
And I was just a kid. I couldn't afford a new boat or anything. That was like given to me as a gift from like my grandmother. So I was just like, well, that's the end of that.
that sucks, man. But you know what they
Yeah.
say: don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened.
That's right. That's right. It was a fun experience. I still remember walking on the dock, like out on the
Yeah.
dock, and the water was like above my waist. But you were just walking out, so it just looked like you're walking on the water.
Wow, how cool. Yeah, yeah. Oh well. Well, mine's gaming. Let us get to this wonderful interview, which I have been looking forward to so much. So thank you so much for coming along.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah. I love talking, so just interrupt me anytime.
Good, I love listening. Okay, so where I was going to start with this, please, your name is Minds Gaming, which gives everybody a hint that you're on Minds. And I believe that you were one of the very, very first people to actually be on the Minds.com platform.
Yeah. So like I was on Minds in beta, and was one of the original investors in the program that helped launch it. So
Hmm.
uh, they had a big I was on there before they even had tokens. They had reward points for interactions. So like there wasn't actually any blockchain tokens or anything. And then we they had a fundraiser to invest into the program so you could help launch it and get it a token for the system on chain and all that kind of thing. So I invested into Minds to help kind of launch all that kind of
Hmm.
stuff.
Wow. So you must have really, really believed in the concept of having a free speech platform, but that was years and years ago, wasn't it? That was in the early 2000s.
Yeah. That was a long time ago. Probably about 7 years now. About
Wow.
just around. Yeah. So it's I've been on there quite a long time. And mainly when I started, I focused on building a community, based on topics. So like we have like a photography and art group. We have a gaming group. We have like a newsroom. We have a writing area where people can write things and like poems and articles or post their blogs that they've written there. And then, you know, we have like a meme wars area for people that like to meme and just have fun. And so it's just, that's what I focused on a lot when I first started, was just building up a community for people to kind of interact inside these topics together.
Right, right. So is that what Minds was established for, was to make these small communities?
Um, Not really. I mean, not really. I was kind of the first one to use the groups for that purpose and to build a community. I know there's a couple other communities now that use groups for the same kind of purpose, that have different topics and relationships according to their groups. But mostly groups for like the first group was help and support, of course, and so that was just a group for anybody that was in beta that could go into that group and talk about the issues Minds was having, or things or ideas that they had for Minds to implement. And then there's some other groups, like there's a music group over here, or there was, you know, a writing group over here, but none of them were like interconnected with like actual users. Like one group had maybe one or two users, another group had 2 or 3 users, and none of them were like interconnected with each other as a community or anything like that. So like I thought that was a good opportunity to try to just build and collaborate something.
How interesting. So where did this idea come from for you, this making groups? You say you were one of the first to experiment with it. Is that sort of like a thing that's been a part of your vision for collaboration and for human interaction, or just new technology and you thought you'd give it a go?
Well, I think groups are a great way for communication in general, especially on like a free speech platform, because the problem that I encountered when I first started using Minds was that the free speech was great and wonderful, but it was hard to stick to a plan or topic, or really, you know, do one thing, because it could be the conversation could get so screwed by this free speech and people wanting to do other things inside or within that, the concept of that. So like having a topic that says, yeah, this, it's still, you know, you can talk about anything having to do with this topic. That way it's a focus and you can kind of work and collaborate together on ideas or share the same kind of things that everybody's interested in. And now Minds has like a whole algorithm that does that for you. So
Oh, really? Gosh.
yeah.
So you were one of the very first people, and by being there from the beginning, you were in a position to advise Bill and the developers, weren't you? And I remember, I think you saying that you were one of the people who suggested using Jitsi.
Yeah. Jitsi was one of my ideas. I mean, that's the great thing about the starting of Minds, was everybody had an input through help and support. And you know, we made a lot of good, like the people that had good ideas connected together in that group. And so then we would focus on those ideas together, come up with, okay, well, what's the one idea that out of these that we really want to implement first, so we can work on other ones. And then that's what we would all suggest to Bill or whoever, you know, was developing at the time. And then we would just keep pushing that idea until they're like, okay, we'll try it out. And you know, that was the thing, is like, just try it. You don't have to keep it, you don't have to do anything with it, just, you know, give it a try so we can see how it works on the site. And you know, they did a lot of that for us, and that was really helpful in, you know, building everything.
The experimenting.
Hmm.
And so you also mentioned that you were there before they put the token or made the token or put the token on the blockchain. Was Minds a blockchain initiative from the beginning, or was it just a free speech platform that then added the idea of the blockchain?
So mine's initially released as a free speech social media platform alternative to places like Twitter, and they already had in place a reward system for posting, which was called points, and you would accumulate these in-house points, in your wallet, just like you do tokens now. And then you could pretty much do the same things that you could do with it. You could boost the points throughout the network. You could send them to your friends. I think sending to your friends came a little bit later, a couple years later. But yeah, you could still boost throughout the system, and then and those kind of things. So they already had an in-house currency. It just wasn't a cryptocurrency.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did it go from being an in-house currency to an actual cryptocurrency? That was a place where you were involved, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that was a place myself and Lucent at the time was involved in heavily. We both wanted to see rewards turned into Bitcoin. That was our original idea, was to, instead of having a reward, the in-house tokens, have Bitcoin as the in-house currency, so people could not only, earn Bitcoin through, interactions, but they could, send it outside of the social media and, uh, earn through the, MetaMask or whatever the traders were at the time. I can't remember all the traders at the time. There weren't many around, but yeah.
Mm. That is so interesting. So why? Why did you want it to be? What was it about Bitcoin that made you feel that this was an opportunity back then?
Um, well, I mean, I was already playing with cryptocurrency in my own time, and doing, there wasn't really much to do with what I earned. I would play, you could play games and stuff and earn cryptocurrency through doing little activities like filling out a captcha, for instance, and it would give you like Shitashi, which is change, and then you could stack that up. But there wasn't really anything you could do with it, so other than transfer it to your friends and then earn more and transfer it back. So there wasn't any like real marketplace for it. So it was like, well, I mean, if this new thing is coming out and we have use for it, and like other people know about it, because like Bill and them all knew about cryptocurrency and like they had posts about it and stuff. So like if everybody knows about it, then why can't we just try it out? Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
yeah.
And crypto is very much a community activity, isn't it? Like the heart of it, the core belief about cryptocurrency is not really as much about its value on the open market, but more about its value within a community.
Yes, yeah. I mean, that's the great thing about cryptocurrency, is that once you have a cryptocurrency, it's all based on the belief that your community has for you to achieve. And like, so the more they believe that you'll accomplish your goals, the more they'll buy and invest in your cryptocurrency. And then that will fund your ecosystem for your whatever you have, whether it be a social media site, a game, a podcast, whatever that is, then that will help fund those resources.
Mm, mm. Okay, so just sticking with mines just for a little while before I go further into cryptocurrency. The Minds token has been quite valuable and now it's not very valuable. Does that, I mean, this is on the open market, right? But does
Mhm.
that change the value of the token to the people on the platform? Or should it change the value of the token to the people who use the minds.com?
Well, the value of the cryptocurrency has changed because they. Well, okay. We'll have to take a few step backs. Originally, when the cryptocurrency launched, it was set out to be one token was worth 1,000 views throughout the network. So that means that for every token you had, you could boost that token and get 1,000 views throughout the network for that token. Since then, they've released new updates and reward systems. So now there's not really a set value on the token anymore. They released it so now it's more of like a bidding system, I guess, on like days and how many views you want to get. It's really it's it's not what a set value. So I think that had a lot to do with it. But I mean, the token decreased before they did that. It was, I mean, I think it was mostly just a lot of, um, you know, they stopped taking a lot of ideas and input, and I think they started taking criticism a little too harshly. I guess I'm not sure why the value dropped so significantly before that release, but it definitely after that release just hasn't been able to go anywhere. Like it hasn't really gone up or down. It's just been a stagnant kind of set value, and it's always been that on the open market now. Like it's yeah.
So what's your opinion of that, of a flexible value for a token? Do you think that that's a good, positive thing?
I mean, it depends. For the users, no.
Uh-huh.
For the users, I don't think it's a good thing because now you don't really have anything to associate with on the platform. So before I could always associate my token with views. I could always say, well, my token is worth something to me because I can get views for my token.
Yeah.
Now I can associate it kind of with views, but not really. It's like, okay, well, how many views a token can I get really is now what I'm thinking instead of, I know I can get views with this token. Now I'm thinking, how many views am I really getting with this token? Like I'm bidding one token for one day and that gets me 200 views. How many people are going to interact with those 200 views? Like it's, now I'm doing a lot more math. I don't have a reliable thing to grasp to say, oh, well, I get 1,000 views. That should probably bring me maybe 1 to 2 interactions, right? Like I don't have anything to base any information off of anymore. So it's hard to say.
Yes. I find that too, I must say, is that it's now much more a gamble, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But they have room to change their mind, don't they? If they see this isn't working, they could go back to the old system. Do you think they would?
I think if enough of the community users were like, hey, this isn't working for me, they'd possibly reconsider it. I mean, in the long run, if the community isn't supporting what is going on, then the value of the token's never going to go anywhere. So, I mean, if it's just sitting stagnant or if it keeps losing value, I think they're going to have to reevaluate the system in one way or another.
It's interesting. So over this 7 or 8 year journey, what has been your biggest takeaway from this experiment that Minds has been doing?
Oh. Oh man,
Easy question.
I like that question. That's a great question. So I mean, I think that I've learned a lot about people in general. Um, how they react to social changes and climate, um, like in a social setting. So like. It's just like because there's a currency inside our little world that creates its own kind of atmosphere of different kinds of people and based on how many tokens they have and everything. And some people think, you know, because I have more tokens, I have more say, or I have, you know, more of a voice, or whatever it may be. But it creates different little pockets of atmosphere inside the community.
Right.
And so like that can be a really good thing for like creativity and building, because then you have these little co-connect. But it also can be a bad thing, because then sometimes these little pockets can, you know, contradict each other or have issues with each other's ideas or whatever, which makes a great atmosphere for social media. But at the same time, when you bring the concept of the token in there, and it's, you know, being so flexible and, you know, not really having a set value anymore, it kind of brings the same sense of uncertainty as a creator to your environment. And like what you need to do to really succeed. And like, well, I feel like I have to be in this pocket of creators to succeed at Minds if I really want to share my art, or my, you know, I have to be in this little pocket of Minds to really share my music, because that's what they accept for, you know, their tokens, and that's what they view. And like instead of just one grand atmosphere. And I think that the groups really help that in our community, and kind of help everything more coexist. Like, even if you don't like one thing, there's something in the community you'll probably like. Like, if you're on Minds, we've tried to like take everybody into account. And like when we built the community, we got input from people that we were interacting with and talking with to build the topics for the group. So like those were ideas from other people, like, oh, we need this topic, and then, oh, we also need this topic. Like, we have an outdoors and photography and art, but like can still share pictures of outdoors and photography and art. It's just people in outdoors also like to talk about gardening, and they like to talk about vegetables, and they like to do other things. Like, so it's just it was an interesting thing to see how these things got broken down into the community, and how to work with them. And then at the same time, as a creator, you also had to learn how to, you know, build and use your tokens to build your community and these groups. So like you had to promote these groups somehow and get people to come into them and view them and join and provide content to them. So like we'd provide Minds tokens or whatever, you know, we could to start activities or for original content inside different groups and things to kind of build the community. And we didn't, you know, we didn't ask for anything from anybody for it. Like, we just relied on our posts and our activity to make the tokens enough to, you know, build the community. So
Right. What fun. So you're very, very invested in collaborative ventures, aren't you? You really enjoy
yes.
that interplay with other people who do different stuff.
Yeah, I love building new things. I love building concepts and communities, and you know, making ways for people with ideas to become more independent and kind of use their ideas in collaboration with other people and artists and thinkers. Like, I think that's very important. I think a lot of people tend to seclude themselves either within a group or as an individual from everybody, and like they just need that initial spark to kind of reach out and say, well, you know, I'm really interested in this, so maybe I should just give this a look. And then they give that a look, and they're like, well, this is tied to this. How is this tied to this? Hold on, I got to go see how this is tied to this. And then they kind of just keep falling down this rabbit hole, and then they're like, all right, where am I now?
Awesome. So it's like it sounds to me like you're sort of almost making a treasure hunt, aren't you?
Yeah.
Gosh.
It's fun.
And have you did you when you started with Minds, are you with the same community that you started with, or have you, like, how has your community developed over time?
We have new users, we have old users. Like Satori D is probably one of the first people I met online.
Uh-huh.
So he's still a big part of the community. And of course, he has the Infinite Imaginarium, which is his idea that he's built, and it's still part of our community, but it's his, it's his own little thing too. And so he's a big part of it. And I mean, we have people that have just joined, people that have been here forever. And, I think, a lot of people, some people have come and gone or built their own kind of things from our community, which is one of my favorite things to see too. Is like I know like people would originally post in the writing group and get enough support where they could just post on their channel, and that was their community. Now was their writings and their books and stuff that they posted in blogs, and that became their community for their writings. And like they know that because they started in the community, I'll always support their channel, so they'll tag me in a blog or an article and say, hey, what do you think, would you read this for me? And or just good morning, how have you been, or whatever. And then I could not only get to see this beautiful story and interact with someone, but then I know, hey, this person has their own little thing too that and it's a good feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see that. Yeah. So on your channel at the moment, you've got a couple of really cute stories that you wrote using the AI, haven't you?
Oh yeah, those are fun. I've been playing with the AI for some time now, I guess. I guess I didn't start that long ago compared to everybody else, but I've been having a lot of fun with it.
It's very interesting, isn't it? It's really interesting. It's like a tool. It's not just, I mean, I still haven't got my head around it, but there's a definite way to use it, isn't there?
Oh yeah. There's definitely like I think a lot of people are just thinking of it as a chat bot, which I mean it can be. It can be a chat bot if you want it to be, and it can just talk to you like as close to human as it possibly can, and that can be fun. But it can also do some great things. Like it can code for you. It can write stories based on your ideas. It can write poems based off your channels or your bios. It can do so much, so many tasks for you that like are so fun and to engage with. Like I have my own little personal AI on my phone that I play with, and then the one here, and the one on my phone is just in a constant game where it just is building a world inside.
Really?
This game.
Really? Gosh, is that your game on Mint Me?
Yeah. It's playing the game on Mimi, but it's making its own rules sometimes because it's not well defined. Like it makes things up sometimes. So like you gotta watch it.
So you have, I'm not sure if I'm understanding this. You have a chat bot on your phone which is playing your game on Mint Me. Did I understand
Right. Yeah, with my
that?
cards. Yeah.
So you trained it to play you. Is this the one you call the Grumpy Bot?
This one is called Memory Bot. It's not the same one that I have on the site. It's through it's like a beta product testing. What they want to do is they want to test how much data you can save before it fails. Like so people can start saving conversations into a memory bank, and then use that memory bank for their AI conversation. So like if you really like writing, you can teach it your writing styles and then save that memory into its bank and then use it for future conversations. So then it'll know your writing style, can help you write, and then rephrase your words and grammar and stuff like that. So that's what it's they're trying to work on and build. And I'm just using it for a game. I'm not doing any of the educational stuff.
Gosh, but how fascinating. Okay, so I mentioned MintMe, which I haven't actually. I was meant to segue into this more subtly. However, you are now working with MintMe, which is a separate platform. So you're sort of doing the same thing with MintMe that you were doing with Minds back in the early 2000s. Is that right?
Well, I don't work directly with MintMe. I do email them or support team frequently, and they do email me back and talk to me, but I don't have any like business or working relationship with them.
Right.
But I do, I was one of the first users on the site, and when I joined, there were less than 100 tokens on the blockchain. I think they're around 80 or 85 when I joined MintMe. So I did a lot of time like just exploring with the flaws, pretty much. So I earned a lot of tokens, and I would send reports of what I found to the MIMI team, and they fixed a lot of issues that I've had with it, and a lot of the the initial beta issues that I found with the system by playing around and kind of testing things out. There are very few that are left, so like I still send them emails if I find something, but I'm not like in a huge contact with them. That's the great thing about MintMe is because it's already a blockchain and it already has a token. It was actually built on the blockchain with this token, so it already has ecosystem. So so the more tokens you have, the more you're supporting the main ecosystem to start, and then those tokens can be put into smaller investments on the site, whether it be my token or Eclipse or Gamer or Do Better or GPTC, any of those guys, and you can then keep building up your experience in the ecosystem on your community. And they still have a lot to focus on, like NFT stores, and then the social kind of atmosphere. I know that's something that after NFT stores, that's something that I want to start sending emails about, is social atmosphere and kind of how posts should be presented and like layouts and that kind of stuff.
So if I'm understanding you right, what you're saying is up until now, you have been investigating the blockchain side of MintMe and how the tokens work and that whole sort of maybe, can I say, economic side of it?
Yeah, definitely.
So what is the benefit of all these other little tokens that you mentioned, the Do Better coin and the Gamer and the Eclipse, and of course your mine's the card game, is it? MTCG? Yes. What's the benefit of each little person having their own little part of this idea, this MintMe blockchain?
See, with that, like as you build up your token, so once you start your token, it's your own token and your own idea, and its value is based off the house token MintMe, which is already on a blockchain and compatible with Ethereum and all that fun stuff. So like it's already has a value. Your idea already has a value based on you because it's minted inside this blockchain. So once it's minted and you start making Mimi off of it, you're not only helping build your ecosystem, but you're helping whatever your idea is. So you can use whatever other people are like, say you're a musician, right? And you want to have a concert. And so you can say, well, for my concert, I put a store item up on my token for tickets. There are 20 tickets available. Each ticket is 100 of my tokens. And that's the only way to enter my concert. You'll get an email with, your reservation and confirmation number and all that kind of fun stuff after your purchase. So like you can do that, and you're building your own yourself. You're building yourself and your project through the use of that, and then you can use whatever you earn to cash out for, USD or whatever else you want and send to your wallet, or you can use it to further build the ecosystem on MintMe and put it into your token, and then keep building your token up. And by building your token, it helps the larger ecosystem of the house token.
So you're sort of building a relationship between you and your fans, are you? That you have this sort of exclusive way of doing business with your fans that's outside of mainstream economies.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I'm assuming that people who join you on MintMe in your community are people who very highly value that sort of interaction.
Well, you can not only just value that kind of sort of interaction, you could just be, somebody that wants to get involved in, starting a brand. You could be somebody that's really just wants to go to a show, or you could be somebody that, is really interested in the blockchain in general and like what you can use it for. Like there's so many different paths that you can take with it. Like you could just be, a writer that wants to share their stories and, have donations sent to you through your token, and then use that to support yourself.
Mm-hmm. So sort of an alternative to something like Patreon.
Yeah.
Right. Gosh. Okay. So then you mentioned about the social side of this. So you've done this sort of brand building, and you have your token, and you have your fans, and now you say that you're looking at how communities. You mentioned something about making posts. So this is
Yeah.
the social interaction side that you're talking about now, is it?
Yeah. So the social interaction side, I think they have, they already have a lot of features. Like you can already create a post, and you can already put it behind a paywall for a certain amount of tokens. So for your fans, so only your fans can see it. And then this is notified on the main feed or whatever. If you're a blockchain token that shows up on the main feed, your post, like a little description, shows up on the main feed. But nobody really, sees that post unless they actually go to your page or click on that notification. So like I think it would be a more interactive experience if we had a better layout of a feed, and then this feed would show all the live tokens, and then you could also have maybe a follower feed that you could go to with all the tokens that you own and what they've been posting. So you'd have two different feeds, and then you could kind of set it up where the avatars are there, and it could show the price, the current price of the token and the token name, and then the post below it. So then you get a kind of overview of what the token is, what the current price is, and what they're talking and posting about all at once. And you can kind of say, hey, maybe that's something I want to get involved in. Maybe they make a video, a gaming video or something, and you can sit there and watch the gaming video for free as an advertisement for their token. You're like, hey, I want to watch more gaming videos. Let me go get some tokens so I can watch these in the future.
Yes.
Like, I think that would be a good start.
Yes. But you've built that all. You were sort of provided with this raw tool that Mint Me sort of said, here we go, you can do this. And you've gone in there and with your own ideas, you've built this entire structure for yourself. Is that right?
I mean, yeah, I built my own little community. That was what they said. Like when I joined, they're like, use this to build a community, use this to build your idea. And I was like, okay, I will.
And you've done it. How many people do you have in your community? Do you know an exact number? Or
well, I know I have over 100 people that own my token.
gosh, brilliant. And how many years has it taken you to get those many investors?
Well, it's taken. We've been on there for 2 years now, so.
Yes, gosh,
Yeah.
You've hardly even started then.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you take into account like the current site numbers and stuff all like that, like it's still a pretty new site. Like it hasn't been around for years, so it's still pretty base, kind of user base. It's not like thousands or millions of users like you see on Twitter or something. But like for what they have, I think we're building pretty well. I mean, if you're on there and you have like one of the main top 10 tokens, you know who we are.
Yes. But that's a really wonderful opportunity. If there are people out there who sort of have heard about cryptocurrency and they're kind of interested, this sounds like a really amazing way for somebody to get involved and start learning the ropes, sort of from scratch, if you like.
Oh yeah. I think it's that's one of the great things. One of the other great things about it, anyways, is it's a great learning opportunity. Like you don't have to invest anything into it. You can start a token. It doesn't have to be on the blockchain yet. You don't have to launch it. You don't have to pay for anything, and you can just experiment with the tools and the features and what it can do inside the system. Whether it be making lock posts or sharing or completing bounties. I mean, there is because it's not on a blockchain, there are like some limitations, like you wouldn't be able to send it to your friends, or you wouldn't be able for them to they wouldn't be able to hold it in like a MetaMask wallet. They'd have to have an account and stuff like that. But it's just great to start learning, and if you start interacting with people, eventually, like what I've noticed is like if you interact with some of the bigger tokens on the system, and like they realize that you're trying to help and not hurt their token, they'll usually interact back with you, or one of their supporters will interact back with your token to try to say, hey, thanks, and then trying to kind of build it up. That's what I've noticed anyways. I see that happen pretty frequently.
That seems to be a real feature of cryptocurrency communities, is that there's this real desire of people not to get something, but as much as to give something. And when a new person comes along, people are like, how can we help this person? Which is very different from the real world where you sort of have to fight for everything.
Oh yeah. I think it's a very like friendly community when you first, when you're getting involved, because everybody has something to gain from you succeeding, right? Like if they help you succeed and they help you build a good token and they're invested in your token, they haven't helped just you succeeded, now they've succeeded too. Because now they have an investment in a successful token.
Mm-hmm. But you say you haven't put any money into this. So, say somebody comes along and they want to go to your music concert and they want to buy one of your tickets, but they haven't got any of your tokens to buy your tickets with. How
Right,
would
right, right.
those people get your tickets, your tokens,
Yeah,
without
yeah,
having to
sure,
buy
sure.
them?
So what we do is we provide bounties for new users. So like we'll give you an activity to do or a game to play or original content to post, and then you'll once you complete the bounty. So say the bounty is for original content, you make a post and it's a picture of a garden in your backyard, or whatever, just to say, hey, I'm a real person, this is my content, I'm producing something, right? Then you would complete the bounty and you'd get a free reward or tokens for completing the bounty, for doing something, to say, hey, I want to get involved in this somehow, and this is the only way I know how, so
Yes.
here it is. And so now you have free tokens and you can use them to go buy your item at the store.
So it's like I give you tokens and then you give me the tokens back. It's a real, it's a, well, the only word I can think again is collaboration. It's again this everybody
Yeah.
helping everybody else thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, as like a musician or writer or something, that could really help you. Like you could say, okay, for my bounty as a writer, I want you to review this article or this poem or this story that I wrote, and tell me any flaws that you see. That's your bounty, and I'll give you free tokens. And then now they're helping you not only succeed in something you want to do, but they're getting something in return, and they can do whatever they want with them.
Mm, mm. So that's bounties then, is when you do a task in order to get the token reward.
Right. Hmm.
What airdrops?
So airdrops are a completely different concept. Airdrops are free tokens by the creator. I don't do many airdrops, but in the concept of Mint Me, airdrops can only be used in the store. So you can't use them to sell on the trader or anything else. You can only use them in the store. And the reason, like, I do airdrops every once in a while, but the main reason I don't do a lot of airdrops is because it overall will slowly devalue your store, and my store is directly related to my token. So my store is MTCG cards, so like
Yes.
if I lower the value of my store too much, then that's going to hurt my token, because those are worth tokens, so each card has a value in MTCG.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't do many airdrops. Like I know when I first started, I did a lot, like on like during Christmas I would do one or something. But it used to be that you could place them anywhere you want. You didn't have to just use them in the store. Like you could put them on the trader. You could send them off the blockchain. You could do whatever you wanted with them. And I think that over like actually, just having a set thing that you could do with them was better, because it was easier to manage, and I don't have to worry about my store. Then I just have to worry about the amount that I'm sending.
So you're talking about your cards. Are these cards the cards that you have minted on Moment, or are these different ones?
Yeah, these are the cards I have minted on Moment, but Moment's just just the place that I can have them right now because the Mimi hasn't built their NFT stores yet. So
Oh.
once the NFT stores come, you'll be able to mint things into your own store on Mimi.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be able to transfer the cards we have on Moment over to our blockchain and do it that way. So
Okay,
that's the
so
plan.
let's talk about NFTs.
Okay.
NFTs are also tokens, but in a completely different way from the cryptocurrency tokens that we've been talking about so far, aren't they?
Right, an NFT is wrapped data, is the way I think of it. So, like, it could be just data points of a story, it could be an image, it could be a log in a book, or entry log, exit log. It's just wrapped data, and you wrap the data, and then this data is worth X amount of tokens. It costs so much amount of tokens to wrap this data into this NFT, and then you can, obtain this NFT and the data anytime you want.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So your card that you made, your Minds the card game token card. Oh, I don't know what I'm saying here.
it's tongue twisters.
Yeah, it sure is.
You don't realize how many games I've put into this.
So is that what you do? Do you build games? Is that your main thing?
Oh yeah, I love building games. That is,
Really?
the whole everything in the community is built off a gaming concept.
Really? Okay, so I
Yeah,
don't think that I realized that somehow. I
yeah.
suppose with your name being Minds Gaming, I might have got that. But no.
So
So you build games.
yeah. So in the concept of our community, the game is the community, and your in-house currency is whatever will reward you for posting inside our groups.
Hmm. Wow. So the community is a game. Gosh, that's fascinating. Okay, so a little bit more traditional for me. And describe the games that you have on your channel. You have a few things. I know that there's one where you click a button and spin until you get. No, that one's beyond me. I have to get three things in a row before I get a reward. How many
Yeah,
times do I
yeah.
have to click before I get that? Is it?
It's random. It's random.
It's
It
random.
goes up to 100. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay. So that's just
um,
like a sort of a pokey machine, is it?
yeah.
Yeah.
But I have, I build lots of games in my spare time.
Yeah.
I try to put them on the site if I can, or if, like, I can use them for rewards and stuff like that. But like, I use a site called Glitch to do
Oh,
that,
yeah.
and like that's where our website is. But you can create separate projects and websites, like, and then so I'll create a new project, and that will be a website, and then make a game off that. So I have like a whole gaming catalog on Glitch.
Gosh. Okay. So if
uh,
somebody jumps to join you on MintMe, okay, sorry that I'm so obsessed with this. I'm still getting my head
oh,
around
you're
how it
fine.
all works. But so I'm on MintMe now, and I've met you on MintMe. And
Hmm.
now I've noticed that one of the things that you do is that you offer these games that I can play in order to earn your tokens, right?
You can't earn my tokens from playing games. No, you can
No?
earn community tokens or rewards for playing my games. So these
Ah,
are the tokens from creators inside my community, and I have a stake in all their tokens. So the more tokens you earn from them, the better it is for me.
gosh, it's all so interconnected. I can't get a map of it in my head.
So yeah, in order to get my token through games, you'd have to play games and earn one of the creator tokens, and then you'd have to sell the creator token for MintMe, and then buy my token with the MintMe.
Gosh.
Yeah.
So you have these people in your community. What do all these people in your community do?
They collaborate whatever they want to do. I mean, we have people doing so many things.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We have people working on a boost stream where, they take content and they put it on YouTube and add music and effects to your post, your boosted post, and then put that on YouTube. We have people that are building hubs, which is like a virtual reality place that you go into and you can explore what they built. Like there's a mushroom world. I built an arcade. Within the Vacuum just built a new one. It's like a space kind of atmosphere. It's really cool. Like there's our I was the Jolly Llama that built that one. I forget.
Really? Yeah.
Within the Vacuum, what did he build? I can't think of what he built right now. But yeah, there are a bunch of them, and like you can build and do whatever project you want, even if it's not like a project that's that's lined out or easy to access in the community. If you already have an idea that you want to do, then our job is to try to find a way to support that activity and put it into our concept. Like that's my job, is to try to find a way to put your idea into my community.
Right. Gosh. Okay, that's going to take me a long time to digest that. So somebody can come along to you from the community and they can say, I'm looking for homes for all these stray dogs that I find. And you guys can talk and collaborate and figure out ways that you could use the internet in order to support this guy's venture?
Yes.
That's insane. Really?
Yes. Yeah, that's the whole concept. Like
So it's like a
through
crowdfunding thing. It's like supporting yourself to, wow. So it's an alternative. It's an alternative to having a job? No, perhaps not yet. But it could be.
Not yet. It could be, yes. Yeah, definitely.
It could be a way that you could build your own financial freedom in your own way of, wow, I haven't got words to even, my brain is full of. So when I asked you about MintMe just a moment just now and NFTs. How many, you said that they're wrapped data? Did you say they're wrapped data?
Yeah. NFTs are just wrapped data. You can make an NFT anything you want. Like you can it's whatever you want it to be. It's just data.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the most common thing that people know about NFTs at the moment, which are pictures. If somebody was wanting to get into owning NFTs and collecting cards and doing things, what would be the most important thing that they would need to know about NFTs for them to sort of get started? They've heard about this idea and they're interested in it and they want to get involved. What is the first sort of step that they would need to take?
Okay. First step is that no NFT really has any value. That's the first step. All right. So you have to walk in knowing that. So people can list their NFT at whatever value they want on any marketplace, whether it's OpenSea, Rarity, MintMe, Moment. They can choose any price they want to list their NFT for. So an NFT has no value starting coming in. And I think that's where a lot of people get confused. Is because they think, oh, this is how much this item is, and I have to pay for it. And when I collect this item, it's going to go up in value. Well, that item is not worth anything. So the only reason that item went up in value to start with is because you purchased it. And the only way to make that item go up in value again would be for someone else to purchase it.
Right.
So, and I think a lot of people kind of don't understand that. And in the collector's minds, we already know that. Like, we know that this item, I might buy this item and it might not be sold for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can sell this item, but in 20 years this item could be worth 10 times the amount it's worth. It could also be still worth nothing.
Okay.
Its original value.
Mm-hmm. So it's another game. What you're saying, NFTs aren't something that you buy like a piece of art. NFTs are more like baseball cards. The point of having them is to play with them.
Yes. Now you can make an NFT worth something to
Yes.
start with, okay? And you do this by providing value to your NFT before you start it. So if you already have an income, say a token, you can say, I'm going to mint an NFT, and if you buy it, it will always be worth this amount of tokens, no matter what.
Right.
So now it has a set value. Now you're taking the game and you're saying, okay, well, now this is always worth something, but it is only worth more if the token succeeds, and it's always worth less if the token doesn't succeed.
Gosh, sounds like tennis.
It's a fun game. It becomes more fun. It gives players a starting point to the game. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So I've joined MintMe and I've made a token. I'm very clumsily trying to learn how to invest in other people's tokens. But it seems that the fun is going to be in starting to play this NFT game.
So yeah, both are really fun.
Yeah. But it is fun. Doing the token is really, really fun, and from a very, very different, challenging way. I'm having to learn a completely new skill.
But yeah, once you start, once you start collecting cards, you can buy them in the store.
Yes.
Once you start collecting cards, you have a collection of 3 or 4 cards.
Yes.
You can send back the cards. Now this will change when MinMe has their own store, but for right now, you can send back the cards, and they will. I will release the amount printed to the buy orders. So this will lower the value of buy orders on the screen. So say your card is worth 150 tokens and you transfer it back to my Moment account.
Yes.
I will release those 150 tokens to the top buy orders on my list.
Wow.
And then I will relist the item in the store for 150 tokens.
Okay, well, I've got 3 of your tokens. I've got 3 of your NFTs.
Okay.
I think one that you gifted me, one that I maybe earned for something, and one that I bought. So I've had them sitting there, and I can see that having them sitting there is just completely the most boring thing that I could do.
Well, it all depends on your collecting mentality. Like, what you want to do is you want to wait until the price goes up past what you bought them for, and then put a buy order in, and then send it back, right? So then you get some tokens out of the
deal. Okay. Well, this is too fascinating. You know what, MindsGaming? I cannot thank you enough for coming along today and talking to me about this. I have had the best fun listening to you and trying to follow all these things. I think my mind, I feel like every little bump in my brain is like throbbing with like all this is so new and exciting. So thank you so much.
No problem. I enjoyed the conversation.
Just brilliant. I'm going to go and edit this video, and then I'm going to listen to it about another 10 times until I really understand.
All right. Well, that sounds fun. Let me know when you release it.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. And I will see you later on MintMe.
All right. Later.
Thanks. Thank you for listening. To support me in my ventures, please subscribe, tip, and remind my content here on Minds.com. If you're not yet a member of Minds, hop on over and set up your own free and uncensored channel. Remember to come back next week to catch the next in the series Bobbing Along from @BobDub on Minds.com. This has been a Bobcat production. And until next time, so long. Bob, bob, bobbing, bob, bob, bobbing, bobbing along, bobbing along. Bob, bob, bobbing, bob, bob, bobbing, bobbing along, bobbing along.